And welcome to the Educator's Lair. My name is Brooke McGinnis. I'm an art educator here at the Wiregrass Museum of Art. And today we are going to make coffee filter art. We thought this would be a fun idea, and especially since when I went to the grocery store the other day, I bought a whole pack of coffee filters thinking I didn't have any, and I did, so I have a lot to play with. This is an inexpensive thing that most of us have at home, so easy to create with. So what you're going to need is coffee filters. You will also need some washable markers and a spray bottle with water. And then I'm going to show you some different things to do with them, but these are the basic supplies that you will need to just make the tie-dye kind of coffee filter look. So I like to have an area to work on, as you can see from here. And I think this looks really cool too. My art teacher hoarder mentality is like, what can I do with this? Maybe collage or something. Anyway, it's really pretty, but I like to have something so I don't ruin tables or anything. Now these are washable markers, so again, it will likely come up, but just to play it safe. So you want to take your coffee filter and flatten it out a bit, and then you want to take your markers and let's see what colors I'm going to use. I'll do red and blue. Now you can do different patterns. With this one right here, I did wedges. With this, I did kind of straight lines. This was with different swirls. So really, you can just kind of play with it and see what you come up with. I'm going to do dots with this one. I also like to use the thick side of the marker just so I can get more color on there, larger patches of color. Also because I like to work fast. I'm one of those kids that rushes through their project. We all have one of those, right? And so you just kind of move your color around where you want it. And just keep in mind that, you know, it is going to blend together, so it's kind of fun to use colors that will blend nicely. This is also a great way to kind of have a conversation about how you can make colors, like yellow and blue make green, right? Blue and red make purple. So it's a nice kind of teachable moment too. So I have my dots here. And so once you've done that, you want to take your water bottle and you just want to saturate it. You want to make sure every area is wet. Because it is a coffee filter, it can take the liquid, but again, you don't want to oversaturate it just because. The good thing about these too is they don't take terribly long to dry. So if you have impatient artists, they'll be able to see their creation. Now I just did this on my paper towel because it's pretty absorbent. You could also use a tray to spray on, and that's fine. If you don't have a tray, like I didn't have like a nice tray like all the Pinterest ladies had, but I have this dollar store platter. I think a baking dish would work as well, anything with a little bit of a lip just to kind of catch that water. And then I'm just going to let that kind of sit. You could also let it dry on another piece of, like, I've got construction paper because I have so much of it. Paper towels are actually in short supply in my house right now. So I'm trying not to waste them. I also like to pick it up and kind of just let the colors run a little bit, just to kind of help that blending process. You do not have to do that because that is a bit messy. And I'm going to sit that over here so that it can dry. And then if you're going to work again, just again a paper towel or even a coffee filter works to kind of clean up your area so that your colors don't blend together if you don't want them to. I think it's also kind of fun to pick up colors that have been sitting here from your previous project. So when that dries, you will have something like this. And what you can do with this is you can cut it into different shapes. People use them as beautiful little sun catchers. You could even do a border with construction paper if you wanted to, or you can kind of bunch them up like this. So just take them in the middle and kind of bunch and twist, and then you have a lovely flower. And you could make the, you could actually secure it with like a pipe cleaner, or I actually have floral wire, so that's what I'm using to secure my flower. And then I have two pretty little flowers right there, right? If you have some fun, like larger cookie cutters lying around, you could also use them to make your shapes. And you could either do it before you do your tie-dye or after, once it dries. I decided, go figure, I'm just gonna use the kitty cat. And so I did this before and then tried to make kind of a tiger stripe design. And I think it worked pretty well. It looks pretty cool. Again, these are fun to just hang in the window because they do act as kind of sun catchers and a nice little art display for people that might be taking their evening walks. They can look in your windows and see your beautiful artwork. Something else that you can try, if you have spray starch at home and like any kind of glass, you can actually drape your coffee filter over a cup. And I don't think this is quite dry yet. I just did it. And it makes a pretty little bowl. And these are actually inspired from the work of glass artist Dale Chihuly. He makes these beautiful glass bowls with very kind of organic edges. So you can even cut the edge of your coffee filter before you place it on the cup and sprayed it with the spray starch. Or just the way you arrange it ends up looking kind of fun and organic. And I'm gonna let that continue to dry. Something else that you could do, and a nod to Chihuly, and I'm going to move this. Say you've got some construction paper, or if you have butcher paper at the house, essentially you're making those flowers again, just kind of by bunching them up at the bottom, and then you stick them in a cool pattern onto either construction paper, or if you have butcher paper, or even if you have a roll of wrapping paper, you want this to be a collaborative project for the family, make a very big piece. He has these beautiful art installations with this glass, this shaped glass that essentially does look like flowers. If you've been to the Bellagio in Las Vegas, they have a big, beautiful installation in their gallery. And so you could create something like that. So again, on butcher paper, on a tube of wrapping paper that you don't like, you bought it on clearance and you haven't used it. Or just, piece together patches of construction paper or printer paper, whatever you want, and then hang them up high and you can look at these beautiful creations that you've made with your family. So again, a quick, easy project with things that you likely have laying around the house. No need to go out and get anything or to order anything. You should have most of this stuff. And again, there are substitutions. There are always ways that you can create with things that you have at home. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Educator's Lair this week. My name is Brooke McGinnis, and we will see you next time.